Okay, so today's mini lesson is about 8.EE.5 and 6, and this is 8.EE.5. And both of these standards relate slope, but this first one is specifically about proportional relationships with slope. Remember, those are slopes that go through the point 0, 0 when graphed, and if you divide the y by the x, you get the same number every time. So we're going to look at this problem number 1, and it says that a train is traveling at a constant speed, and its distance over time is shown in the graph. What's the speed of the train? So the speed of the train, this is also called unit rate, and that would be, unit rate would be whatever the y is per 1 hour. So what is the speed at 1 hour? It's about right here. And we can tell that's a little less than 40, much greater than 20. And so if you look at your answer choices, it looks closest to 35 miles per hour. Number 4, Leah and Sergio are both saving to buy a kayak that cost $800. The table shows Leah's savings per week. Sergio saves $24 per week. Who will be able to buy the kayak first? And then how long will it take? So who will buy the kayak first? Well, it tells us that the table shows Leah's savings per week. And we can see that every 4 weeks she had $72 to savings. So let's just see what the cost is, or the amount of savings per week. So we'll divide the y value, the savings, by the x value, the weeks. 72 divided by 4 weeks would be $18 per week. And we already see up here that Sergio saves $24 per week. So he saves $24 per week. So we can already tell that Sergio will buy the kayak first, because he's saving more money per week. He'll have $800 faster. Now, how long will it take? Let's calculate this. How long will it take? Well, we know that we are dealing with $800 divided by $24 per week, and that'll tell us how many weeks it takes. So we can just go to a calculator and divide 800 divided by 24, and I get 33.3 repeating. Now you have to think about this a minute. 33 weeks would be almost enough money, but not quite. So it's going to take 34 weeks. It's going to take that extra week of savings to reach his $800 goal, and then a little bit over that. Now, 8.EE.6 is also dealing with slope. You're going to see these problems have slope-intercept form used more often, y equal mx plus b. I'm going to go ahead and note, m, we know, is called slope. B is the y-intercept, the point where your graphed line crosses the y-axis. And so we're going to look at some problems. Number 1, the graph shows the earnings from a charity car wash as cars are washed. Write an equation that represents the earnings after X cars are washed. So we have this line, and we want this line to fit y equal mx plus b. So let's just look here and see where b is. B is the point where it crosses the y-axis, so b is 0. And then m is rise over run. And if it's proportional, then it's actually going to be the earnings per 1 car. But we could check, and it looks like $5, but we could work this out and say, okay, let's just take a couple points. Let's take this point and this point. Let's use rise over run. Okay, it's going to rise from 10 to 30, goes up 20. And then we're going to run to the right from 2 to 6, it goes right 4. Remember, anytime you go up on the coordinate plane, it's increasing, adding. Down is decreasing, subtracting. If you go right, the x's go more positive to the right, so it's adding, and if you go left, it would be subtracting, going negative. So we've got 20 over 4, which divides to 5. So we get that the rate of change, m, is 5. So, in slope-intercept form, y equal 5x plus 0. And we can just simplify this to y equal 5 times x. Number 2, what's the slope of the line that passes through the points 25, 50, and 80, 110? There's several ways we could do this. We could go to a graph and plot the points and find rise over run. We could draw a table of values, x and y, and find the change of y over the change of x, which I do prefer that one. It's a little quicker. But then we could also use our slope formula. And let's go ahead and just refresh on the slope formula. M is equal to the change of the y's, y sub 2 minus y sub 1, divided by the change of the x's, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Let's name our ordered pairs. This first one, x, y. And since it's the first one, we'll call it x sub 1, y sub 1. Those little ones are just naming it. And then our second ordered pair, x, y. And since it's the second one, we'll name it x sub 2, y sub 2. And now we'll just plug them in. Y sub 2 is 110 minus y sub 1 is 50 over x sub 2 is 80 minus x sub 1 is 25. So we're going to simplify that. We get 60 over 55. And we do need to go ahead and reduce this. Both 60 and 55 will divide by 5. And we get 12 over 11 for the slope. Notice it is an improper fraction, and that's okay. We're going to usually leave them in fraction form, even if it's an improper fraction, when dealing with slope. Number 4, the cost of joining a gym includes an initial fee of $25. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, because when I see initial, that tells me we're dealing with a starting amount, or a Y-intercept, of 25. And then $2 per visit. Notice that it's repeated. You see that word per means it is over and over and over. It's a repeated amount. So this is a repeated amount of $2. So the slope the slope m is $2. Which linear equation represents the cost of visiting the gym x times? So when we write an equation in as a linear equation, we'll write it in y equal mx plus b. In this case, y is equal to m, which is 2, x plus b, the initial fee, is 25. So y equal 2x plus 25, and that's answer choice D. Number 5, what's the y-intercept of the graph shown? When we see y-intercept, we know it's the point where it crosses the y-axis. So here's the y-axis, and the point where the line crosses that y-axis is here in blue. And so we just look for what that y coordinate is. It's -3. So answer choice A, -3. Now look at number 6. It says, what's the equation of the line shown in the graph in item 5 in slope-intercept form? So on number 6, we're going to write this equation from the graph in y equal mx plus b. We already found up here that we found the y-intercept b was -3. Now we just need to calculate m. So let's get the slope. M is rise over run. And so I've got a couple points here. I'm going to rise 3. And then we're going to run to the right. So the slope is 3/2. So y equal 3/2 x minus 3.